Wow, it's great to be here. My gosh. There is so much to talk about. It is crazy. It's like I can't stand still. Even in my mind, I can't stand still. Where do I start? All right, look, I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of things, but the single most important thing I want you to remember is that for the next 15 months or so, this economy we're in right now should be very good. It should be the best 15 months of economic growth we've had since the end of the recession in middle of 2009. That's the first message I want to get across to you. It's really important. I'm going to talk about trouble and recessions down the road and problems we're going to face later on and tariffs and all these things. But for the next 15 months through late 19 or maybe 2020, who knows exactly, obviously, things are really going to be good. Then things get more dicey. So I want you to also focus on that. Think about how to position yourself when the recession comes, be it 2020 or 2021, what you're going to do and how you're going to arrange your business and so on and so forth, and your balance sheet and your lending and all that kind of stuff. So let's begin and say, why am I happy? I'm happy because you look at GDP, the four parts of GDP, C, household spending, is fine. Job growth is good. We'll look at some details. Wage growth is okay. It's not great, but it's good enough. Fine. Corporate investment in plant and equipment, the second term, I, it's doing okay too. Not quite as good as last year, but it'll bump up. Unemployment's low. Tax is very favorable tax treatment for investment in plant and equipment now. We're running out of workers. Wages are going up. Healthcare costs are up. Let's buy some plant. That's going well. The third term is G, government spending. And this late in a business cycle, to see government spending go up is very unusual. Usually government spending ramps down late in a business cycle because, you know, everything's good. Everyone's got a job. No one needs food stamps. No one needs welfare payments. No one needs low-income heating, LIHEAP. Whatever it is, you're good. You got a job. But it's very strong now. So we have C and I and G all rocking together. This is one of the rare times this has happened. The last time was 1986, late in Reagan's term, and the time before that was 20 years before that, in the middle of LBJ. So this is an unusual circumstance. It almost guarantees a strong, robust economy, all right? This is important. So look, stock market's doing pretty well. If you own stock, if you own bonds, they're not doing quite so great, but they're still doing pretty decently. If you own some real estate, be it commercial, industrial, warehouses, it's doing well. That's nice. Household wealth is at an all-time high. It troughed out here at about $55 trillion. Now it's $95, $98 trillion, an all-time record. So we have with what to spend. We have wealth to spend. We have income to spend. More of us are working, so there's more money there. This is all helping, right? And thank God we're borrowing money. That's the most important thing, right? So what are we borrowing? We're borrowing differently now than we did 10, 12 years ago. And that's really important. Notice mortgage debt in yellow at the bottom is now not quite as big as it was at the peak. It's still lower than it was. There's no housing bubble of any kind. There are housing problems, we'll get to them, but there's no bubble. People who deserve credit are getting it. People who don't deserve credit are generally not, or they're paying a lot more money for it, and that's appropriate. That's the first thing. The second thing is notice student debt. Student debt's in red. And you can see it's crazy. It's going up like mushrooms after a friggin' rainstorm. I mean, look, it's gone from this nothing to that. It's more than credit cards and more than automobiles. It's more than revolving lines of credit, right? And credit cards together almost. It's become a huge part of the balance sheet. And the problem is you incur these debts, what? When you're 25 years old, right? You graduate college, you got a student loan payment, $300 a month. Then you have a car payment of a couple $100 a month, and you're 25 and you're paying $600-700 a month in payments. How do you buy a house? You don't. You can't even afford a damn tattoo.